Honestly, that was really, really difficult for me because we'd spent 4 years. 4 years is a long time. And so we committed 4 years to each other, and then we'd be like, we're finally in the same place, we're getting a groove, and then like he moves
and
down
then I go
there.
to Orlando, yeah.
So that was just hard for me to process, and he moved. I think that was like the saddest day of my life when he moved. Like I was really torn up about it, and then I just knew I had to come down here with him.
Yeah. During that time, you were working for Saatchi & Saatchi, and really close to when I got the job at Disney. What happened to you?
I switched jobs. I have always loved Disney so much. So it's always been, like, ever since I was 5, I've wanted to work for Disney in some capacity. And so then when Saatchi, it was great. I was moving up. I loved my account. I was working really long hours, though. And one of my best friends, Cass, was over at Maker Studios at Disney. And she said, hey, we have a position open on our account management team. Are you interested in the position? And of course, it was Disney, so I said, yes, absolutely, sign me up. And thank goodness that they took me in. So then within a few months, we were both working for Disney. And it felt like the stars were aligning for us.
Yeah, so stars were slowly aligning like angry octopus fingers. Well, actually, loving octopus fingers. This is a story of love.
No, they were like... It was messy. It was messy.
Yeah, things were never easy, but we still always knew that we were the right people for each other. And she was talking about possibly her office would be able to let her come work in Orlando. I also thought in the back of my head that if there's any way for them to really pull the trigger on it, it's me proposing to her. So she and I have been together almost about 4 years. My brother, after he met Sarah for the first time, he said, you have to propose to this girl and you can't let her go. And I said, well, we're both focusing on our careers. And he said, doesn't matter. If you guys love each other, you're going to make it work. And so last February 23rd, I wanted it to be 222, but February 23rd it was. The other funniest part of that story is I was actually working as a groom.
Princess Half Marathon weekend, and I actually did the 10K with some of my friends. So I had a lot of friends here.
Right. And so
I was here.
So she was running the Princess Run. And the day I proposed, I was working as a groom at the wedding pavilion, and I was holding my engagement ring in my pocket. So if you ran past me at the Princess Marathon as a groom, I literally had my engagement ring to propose to Sarah that night in my pocket. That night, we'll save the proposal story for another time, but I proposed to her that night. Fast forward a few months, Sarah moves to Orlando.
Yeah. That's the thing about Disney and my office in general. They did not have to let me come down and move to Orlando because it wasn't necessarily a strategic thing. But if you work really hard and people trust you and they have faith in your work, anything can happen. I am incredibly grateful and am blessed to have worked for a company and a group who valued family, and it's lovely to work somewhere where your values align with the company's values.
And so here we are, 5 years later, finally in the same city. We're engaged. We get married in July, and back in Seattle. Things just couldn't be better. And that doesn't mean that things will always be easy or things are the easiest they've ever been, but we've really learned that through 4 to 5 years of hard work that we can make it through anything. And it's just how much you love the person, how hard you work at it.
And just know that there will be hard days and be okay with the fact that there are hard days. Like, it's not going to break your relationship if you're upset or anything, and it's how you deal with those hard days that makes everything that much easier and worth it.
And always tell that person you love them, even if you don't really feel it that day. I always make sure to tell Sarah I love her, because you just never want to miss a day where you don't tell that person that you love them, no matter how hard it is. And it just kind of works itself out, and here we are. And I love you.
I love you too.
And thank you for being my girl.
Thanks for asking me to marry you.
You're welcome. That was our long-distance, long-term relationship story.
And if you have any questions or advice on anything, hit us up. We're not experts.
We're definitely not experts.
So don't expect good advice. Yeah. We'll tell you what we think.
We'll tell you what we did. And that's the best we can do, because our relationship is far from perfect, but the good thing is that at the end of the day, we really love each other. Yeah. And what you see is definitely sincere. Yeah. I love this girl a lot. And I'm glad you could join us so that you could see a little bit of that.
And know that if your relationship is hard and it's long distance, it can still work.
It can always work if you want it to.
Yeah.
And if you really love the person.
Yep.
And if she looks like Selena Gomez, sometimes.